What's going on, guys? It is Throw It Out There Thursday, and we're going to be talking about how to ship your shocks in, how we do rebuilds, and how to ship your shocks out, okay? But in order to do those types of things, we got to go over to the one and only Justin Smith.
Thank you, Steve. Your introductions are amazing every single time.
That's right.
First, got to apologize to you guys because we've changed up the shows over and over and over about what we're going to talk about. And we promoted the Bilstein shock unveiling / details about that. But we actually decided, and with Bilstein execs, that if we could bring them in, it would be a much better show. So they're going to come to us and talk about some of the details on that new shock release next week. So mark that down for Thursday. It's going to be awesome. You guys will probably be able to ask them some questions if we can't answer them for you. But now that that is covered, our subject, according to John, over here, Growly John.
John Growly?
I
thought it was premature, John.
It is. It changes all the time. Just depends. All right. We have a ton of people asking and wondering the best way, or how, or what is the best way to ship shocks to us. How do we do this? How do we ship them back? And the whole process. So we're going to walk you through that because we feel like most customers have a little bit of anxiety when it comes to sending shocks through the mail. How do they, number one, get them off the car? Number two, where do they go to ship this stuff? Is it going to be the UPS store? Is it going to be FedEx store? Is it going to be them wrapping them up in mom's blanket and flannel and duct tape? And then what do they do, right? Well, we've seen all of that stuff. Duct tape and flannel has shown up, right? I mean, Dave's over here. He's in charge of shipping, and he's going to tell you some of the horror stories. But we're going to show you the right way to do it, some of the wrong ways to do it, and the process throughout the whole thing. So I'm going to move over to this direction, and we've got Dave Kendall, and who is not mic'd up. Does anybody have a mic? Steve, let's hand that over.
Let me get that to you there, David.
All right. So Dave is in charge of shipping. We've got a full shipping department here with lots of people that are passionate about bringing shocks in, shipping them out perfectly, and he's going to show you a little bit about it. This is a box that actually showed up today,
yes,
right?
This box did show up today. Unfortunately, it did show up late for their appointment, so that would be my first thing I'll talk to you about. The biggest thing is we like to get your shocks in here a day before your appointment, so make sure you take that time, kind of research, maybe ask your UPS store, FedEx, how long it'll take to ship to Arizona from where your state is in, and then go from there. Make sure you get them out in time.
One thing we always tell everybody, you have to have your shocks to us at least a day before your appointment date. So what's today, 16th, 17th, something like that? So today's the 16th. This should have been here 15th or 14th or 13th. We don't have a problem with you bringing stuff in a little bit early. That's better.
Yeah.
So just make sure that you've got that worked out when you decide to choose UPS and how you're shipping, right?
Absolutely. That's the biggest thing, like I said, getting them in on time, but also to mention as well, if you are late, we can reschedule you. You'll be the next available. We try to get you in as soon as possible. That way you're not without your shocks for too long.
One thing I want to point out over here that we really never talk about, that is, come over here real quick. Zoom in on this box. So this box came in, and if you take a look at the pictures on this, this guy clearly is a hunter because this is a blind. So he had pulled out, the extendable blind box to ship his shocks in, which isn't too bad. It's the right size,
as long as it works, yeah.
But, we might want to call him back and send him some camo hats because clearly he's going to be hunting some stuff.
Yeah,
right?
and the biggest thing is, it doesn't matter what the box is, what size it is. The biggest thing is that it fits properly in there. You don't want to have too much extra room, excess for the shocks to shift. And if it is a bigger box than what your shocks fit in, stuff it. Rags, towels, foam, but no farts.
No ghost farts.
No ghost farts.
And no peanuts.
And no peanuts. Let me tell you, we've seen too many peanuts. If you walk around the shop, you'll probably see peanuts everywhere around here, and it's just a pain in the butt. So
peanuts, here's the issue with those, man. You fill the whole box with peanuts, and the UPS guy drops the box on the floor. The shock shoots straight through all the peanuts right to the outside, and you end up with broken parts.
They don't work.
No peanuts.
Yeah, they don't work. If you're doing lightweight stuff, cool, but shock's too heavy for that. So anyways, I'll get back into it a little bit. And the biggest thing is we take pictures of all 6 sides in the label. That's for insurance purposes. Anything is damaged during the process. So I've already completed all that. Took a picture of the label. Let me open this up real quick. Boom. So that's what the inside of the shock box looks like for this guy. Basically what we'll do is we're we're looking for a piece of paper potentially inside the inside the box, right? With your name, appointment date, anything of that nature. So we're gonna open that
He's
up.
a little nervous,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I figured I'd fix that real quick.
No.
Hey, buddy.
This
what's
is
going on?
normal stuff, actually. Monday through Friday.
Not normal.
HR?
So if you take a look in here, the biggest thing, right, this guy did a great job. And you're going to notice these are live valve shocks from a Honda Talon. We notice that the adjusters, that's the biggest thing that we see broken during shipment for live valve shocks is that adjuster. That adjuster is $150 to replace. So if you want to save yourself some money,
Excuse
make sure
you.
Yep, sorry about that.
Okay.
Nachos at lunch.
Dave, let me
Yeah.
correct you. The solenoid is $150 to replace.
There you go. Solenoid is $150.
$120 for the whole adjuster.
Right, absolutely. And that's one thing we see the most broken on live valve shocks is that that adjuster.
This
So
thing
that's
sticks
solenoid.
out, you guys, so do us a favor, protect it like this one is.
Perfect.
Wrap it up a little bit extra, not unlike trying to not have babies. But you make sure that you wrap it up tight.
Yeah. And that's the best thing, honestly. As long as it's protected, you save yourself money. And then if we do ever notice anything is broken, we will take pictures of all that, contact you, let you know immediately. That way you know that's what's happening. Steven.
Dave, I just want to ask, are you saying to always use protection?
Always use protection.
Okay, cool. That's all I was checking.
Yeah, Monday through Friday. Saturdays and Sundays. It's
Not
up to
so
you,
much.
Right?
Party time.
Send it.
So at that point, we'll open the boxes up. We'll pull them out, get all pictures of everything for you. We'll tag them immediately with your name, appointment date, and the day they came in, and then label them shock in the box as well. A few things I want to discuss. Make sure if your shipping label does not have your name on it, put your name inside the box somewhere. Help us out because sometimes it'll say UPS store from Virginia. We have no idea where it came from. So the
Mark
best
it
thing you
down.
can do is mark your name down. These are thousands of dollars worth of shocks. You'd hate to lose them and not know your name for them. So do us a favor, put your name in there, appointment date. That'll help us out tremendously.
Awesome. So from
Yes, insurance. Insurance, biggest thing to look it up. Maybe ask or look it up how much your shocks cost, and certainly insure these because I have seen, a lot of things get lost. Like I said, if they're not packed properly, shock falls out, your shock's gone. Unfortunately, we don't have shocks to replace customer shocks, so we might be able to order some, but rarely ever, right? Yeah.
thank you very much,
Good job, Dave.
nervous Dave.
No, what? I'm not. I'm not nervous.
You're doing a great job.
All right, cool.
But from this point forward, once you guys have received the shocks, we make sure that everything is fine. There's nothing that's broken. You've taken pictures of if anything that might be.
Right.
Then from here, where does it go?
So from here, we have a shelf that has all of our shocks on there. We don't put them in any order, everything of that nature. But the tag's sticking out. That way the shot guys come the day of your appointment. I see the tag with your name on it. The shot guys grab it and do the work for you.
Well, let's take a look at where that is, and we'll walk straight through that door behind that phone.
Thanks,
or
Dave.
a very, very expensive camera. Oh, Dom.
Dom has a question?
Dom's
While we're
got a
walking,
question. All
While
right.
we're walking,
What do you got?
Ray Ray's looking to buy a new X3 and have us rework the shocks. Would you recommend a smart shock or a non-smart shock?
You know what? Both of those we really like. Non-smart shock stuff, we can make it ride amazing. Smart shock stuff, we can make it ride amazing. The ride quality is going to be the same between the two. The difference is with a smart shock setup, you can adjust it on the dash, you can play with it both in any direction on the fly. So I would probably recommend a smart shock because I think the adjustability is much better. You know what? When the wife is in the right seat and the thing is riding a little bit rough because the terrain got really rough, you can just go you can go full soft, or if you want to turn it up and catch up to your buddies because they left you, you can go full stiff and send it. That is an advantage I think is really important. So I'd probably recommend a smart shock stuff. Dom, you okay over there? So once the shocks are shipped in, once we've checked them in, once we've made sure there's no damage to the shock, which is very rare, honestly, as long as everybody follows the whole process with no peanuts. And you know what? Mom's quilt is actually pretty good, so maybe borrow that. We've had people send shocks to us that are wrapped in Grandma's quilt, called us and said, I got in trouble for using the blanket on that one. Can you send it back? And we will actually ship that back. But we got Brandon over here. He's actually working on a set of shocks that came in today for today's appointment. And you're working on rebuild and internals, right?
Yeah, so rebuild
All right, here,
valving.
hang on, I'll let you do that. It's kind of weird if I'm going to feed you this.
Yeah.
You know, so. What are you doing right now, Brandon?
So we got rebuilds, valving in bypass tubes. Also installed our bump stop because 2-seat
Okay.
and on an XRS. And then he also wanted our billet resi caps.
Excellent. We've got some modified internal bypass tubes over here,
Yes, sir.
stacked up and ready to go. We've got resi caps for the cool external visual, right? Are these a rebuild set, Brandon?
Yes, it is a rebuild.
Okay,
set.
what do
So-
we do on rebuilds typically above and beyond when we get inside and do just valving?
So on the rebuild side, I check everything, inspect everything, make sure everything's good to go there, and then do fresh seals, fresh oil, and all that good stuff.
Okay, so no matter what, once we're inside the shock, you're going to check it all.
Yeah.
But sometimes the reason that we have an option for rebuilds is because a lot of customers send us shocks that are brand new.
Yeah.
You know, they've got 2 miles on the car, they got 200 miles on the car, they got something that doesn't even require rebuilding, but they know that they want to change in the right quality, and that's the reason why we separate rebuilds from normal internals. But normal internals are going to be the modifications on the piston valving, also modifications on the bypass tubes over here on the bench, mods in other areas that we may not want to tell you or show you because it's kind of a little bit on the secret sauce side of things. But while we're inside doing all that, we're going to definitely tell you, hey, this has got too many miles on it, or you got a pitted shaft, or maybe you follow your buddy too close and he's throwing a ton of rocks at the thing, and that's why we've got a leak. We're going to point that out. So if you're already inside of it and they have not signed up for a rebuild, but you're like, hey, it needs it,
Yeah.
then what's the process there? I mean, you're
So-
going through what in communication?
Yeah, so process would be just check every shock at that point, make sure just visually it's all good and inspected, doesn't need extra parts or anything, so I could just call them one time, be like, hey man, you need a shaft, and make sure they approve it and all that good stuff, and then fresh from showing
Everything,
quality.
all of it.
Oh, yeah.
So what we typically use for tools in this is a program that we actually wrote for the company, and these iPads are live updates with inventory, pricing, customer information. I may not want to show this person's name, but he does say that his wife weighs 250 pounds, so that means he's extremely honest. Because most guys are not going to admit to any of that. But we want to know exactly what the weight is that's in the car so we can tune it. Also, within this sheet, then Brandon can take that customer's information, he can take this iPad and take a picture, boom, of that shaft that might be pitted, and send an email straight to that customer and get approval for a shaft upgrade or the rebuilds while the shocks are apart. And that allows us to nail shocks the same day as the appointment and ship them out the same day as the appointment, even though there might be a few hours of approval process and things that we find while we're inside of them. How often do you get guys that are like, oh man, that was quick, and you put it right back together?
Yeah, and they're like, you're already working on my shop? Yeah.
Yeah, and pictures, emails.
Yeah, picture, email, everything like that, and they'd love it, so I think it's a
Badass.
great thing.
So once these are back together, I'll just go to the next step and back over where John wants me to go. He's got a whole process, right? Hold on, you need a mic, John.
No, he doesn't.
I don't. So, how long on your appointment day, how long does this take?
Well, I mean, we typically do 4 sets of shocks per person. So Brandon's got at least 4 on his list today. And then multiple guys. We got 4, 5, 6 guys that are doing that between 15 and 20 sets a day. No matter what, though, John, if your appointment is today and we have the parts to fix something that we found on the inside, it's going to leave the same day, no matter what. So appointment's today's 16th, right?
Yep.
I asked.
16th.
Right. 16th. Your appointment's the 16th. Shocks are here the day before. We're going to do it on the 16th. We're going to mail them out on the 16th, unless you've added something that we didn't anticipate. That might be the next day, max. Does that answer your question, John?
Yes. So, shocks the day of the appointment, all the work gets done, it goes back unless we have to order parts that we don't have in stock.
Correct. But the amount of parts that we have in stock is massive. We pretty much stock everything that we see a typical issue, like shafts, lower loops, joints, pistons, wear bands, seal kits. We have more seals here than most shock manufacturers do in stock. So there's not an issue with any of that. So let's just assume.
That's a great question.
So let's assume, Brandon, thank you. Your shocks are done. Now we're going to take those brand new rebuilt shocks back over to the shipping area, and we're going to send those out.
Hey, Justin, we have a statement on here from Studio 57 AZ. This boss has the best knowledge of shocks on earth. High five.
High five, Steve. Thank you. Studio 50 what?
57.
57. That's like Heinz 57. It's like 3 numbers better than Studio 54.
I'm only used to Studio 69.
Okay.
Another question is best things to do to prevent wear on shock bodies. Justin.
Excellent question. Wear on shock bodies is going to happen. It is typical. It is part of how a shock functions with a spring divider sliding up and down on the shock body. If you are in terrain that is sandy, salty, muddy, the wear is going to be higher because basically that divider is a sandpaper device just wearing on that body. Clocking of springs helps to try and keep the system straighter than maybe the sock system. We see, I would say 90% of our rebuilds that we get in have damage from stock springs on the vehicle, and we'll repair shock bodies, we'll do whatever it takes to get it back on the road. But maintenance, proper wear preventative measures, like the divider is a wearing item because you got sandpaper on the inside of that, you got elements on the inside of that causing issues. So make sure you've got new dividers from time to time. If you're rebuilding the shocks with us, that's a really good time to get new dividers and keep the system straight and not having any kind of cocked or angle on the body and causing extra wear. So, I'm not sure if I answered your question or not.
I just heard one word of what you, yeah, there we go.
Weird.
That's all I heard, sorry.
Weird how I knew which word it was. But now that we're back in the shipping area, John, you're the one that's creating the production here. Where are we headed to try and show people the next stage?
So the
in
next
shock?
part is super cool. I love how we package shocks and send them out. We got Alex here, right, Alex? And he's actually packaging a set of XP1000 walkers that I actually posted this to Instagram this morning. There was a leaky interior valve or seal.
Interior
easy.
seal
Interior
valve.
seal. Yeah,
Yeah,
one of those things.
Sounds like too much coffee, John.
Yeah, not enough. And those shocks, Brandon was actually working on this morning, and we're shipping them out right now.
So what you guys are seeing is if you take a look, we're actually foam packaging. Every single shock that we deliver or ship out is going to be a foam package system. This foam expands and matches and mates up to everything that's in the box. So the shock cannot move. It can't shoot out the sides. If the UPS guy wants to drive over this with his truck, it's not going to be an issue because it's completely protected. The last thing we want to do is send you a brand new rebuilt shock with any kind of damage. And once we went to this foam system, which is many, many years ago, we have not had any issues with any kind of damage. It's quite incredible, but it is spendy. It's just an extra step that we take on everything that we send out. What we want is when you get the shock back, you open it up, it's perfect, and you're excited to have it and put it back on for better ride quality. So it's important to us. John, I think you had something you wanted to say about all of this
Did I?
process. Yeah, well, you should.
Yeah, John.
No,
Or maybe Steve or Mitch has a question.
So we did have a question earlier. So we covered shipping your shocks. How else can people get their shocks to us?
There's 2 other ways besides shipping, and that would be dropping them off for an appointment, as in dropping off the shocks individually, and we
Here
will
in
do
Phoenix.
just here in Phoenix, and or dropping the vehicle off with the shocks on them, so we can do all the work as well. I think there was one other way you were mentioning too.
Those 2 are it, I think.
That's it?
I don't know how
Did I
else-
nail the other one?
Well, the other thing is...
Well, the other one would be take it to a dealer and have them pull the shocks and ship them to us.
You could drop them off at
Oh wait, shameless plug.
Shameless plug right
Damien
there.
from Side by Side Addicts would like to let everybody know you can drop it off at his
Always
place.
call us for an appointment or drop them off with us.
There you go.
And also soon in North Carolina, we'll be able to do all this stuff too.
Exactly. So within 30 to 60 days, we'll be booking appointments in North Carolina, and you guys can drop off. You can ship over there. You can say if you're on the East Coast, this will save you $200 minimum in shipping being able to go to North Carolina. So we'll let you know when that opens up. We'll have a big ribbon cutting ceremony and all kinds of cool stuff when that happens. So don't worry about when. We'll let you know.
How about what kind of shocks are we accepting?
Pretty much every single shock made, as long as it's rebuildable. So the factory black can style shock that comes on a Polaris or anything else, they're not rebuildable. Don't send those. But Foxes, Kings, Walker Evans, Elkas, Bilsteins, and the list goes on and on. Zebros, there's plenty of others. We pretty much rebuild all of those. When you talk or call and talk to our guys, they'll let you know exactly the process of how that all works. Even though on our website we only list a few, that's just the majority or the most shock manufacturers that we see. That's not the only ones. We will do all of them as well. Steve, what do you got there? Looking at some nice cool logos.
It looks great, right?
Yeah.
And, that's some cool stuff. And if you want anything shock therapy, you can visit www.shocktherapyusa.com.
Oh, well, thank you very much for the shameless plug again. Mitch, you got any cool questions that you might have ignored for the last 15 minutes?
Nothing related to what we're talking about, but there are a couple questions on there.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, we can do that. Before you actually go there, Dave, Nervous Dave.
Nervous Dave.
Okay, let's just assume the shocks are boxed and they're getting mailed out, right? There it is, right? So these are boxed and they're mailing out. You have already tagged them. UPS is going to come today. The customer is notified via email, and what are they getting so they know that it's coming back?
All right, so the billing team up front office, they'll give you a call, go over all the product that was done, your shocks, all of my parts you might have ordered, because we do send out parts as well with your shock in a box. Let's say you want links or sway bar or anything like that. We'll send that as well. They'll bill you out. Once they bill you out, we'll print out labels, and then we'll email you the invoice with the tracking number on there. That way you can follow it on that end over there.
What are you worried about, Dave?
I'm not worried about
There's
it.
nothing happening behind you. Don't even
Honestly,
worry about
nothing.
anything at all.
No, I totally
just pay
understand.
attention to over here.
Yeah.
There's nothing behind you at all.
I believe you, Justin.
Okay, so I mean, typically, when you send this stuff out, everyone's going to get notified, right?
Right.
And what happens with insurance?
So we insure every package for you, and typically, we'll insure every package. That way, all your stuff is protected for you, depending on the product as well. What?
Dave, Nervous Dave, keep talking. You're talking about sending it out with insurance.
Insurance,
Yes.
every time.
If somebody wants to know when it's going to come to them, how do they know?
They check your tracking number, right?
Okay, easy, because they got it.
Right, correct. It's going to send on your invoice.
Concentrate.
Versus
Dave,
your email.
Dave,
Yes,
concentrate. Thank
I'm
you.
focusing here. So yeah, that's how it goes at that point.
Dave, is there anything you want your customers to know when they're sending or receiving anything in this mailroom? What could you tell them that would make your life easy?
Just please put your name on the put your name on the label, and make sure we just know your name and send up all your products. Also, if you're getting a spring kit and you take your springs off, please send your dividers and your retainers, because we need those retainers to do your springs for you. Other than that, that's about all we need. I actually made a list here. Protect them, or peanuts, spring dividers, retainers, appointment date, name inside box. We got it all, Justin.
Dave, thank you. Sent it. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Justin.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for
Thanks,
putting up with us. Steve, back at you. All right. Now that we've kind of covered everything we want to talk about and had a little bit of fun, Mitch, you've got a cool question, don't you?
Where is our shop located in North Carolina?
It is in Huntersville in the Brighton Corporate Center. I would highly recommend that you do not go over there right now. We are not ready for you to come in and hang out. We are setting things up. We have 165 pallets worth of product that we're trying to put on pallet racking right now. We're setting up the showroom with wrap and front counters and the whole process. But Brighton Corporate Center, Huntersville, behind Walmart.
Behind
Right
Walmart.
next to Robbie Gordon's old building, actually. Had a chat with him the other day.
Oh,
Yeah.
What's-
About the Speed UTV.
what's old Robert up to?
Robbie and I have a dinner meeting tomorrow in Havasu Friday night, and we're going to be talking about getting a unit over here that we can test. And he sold the race building over there and bought another one that's actually mostly concentrated on engine manufacturing and can make billet blocks and stuff. So really cool information. We're not going to be sharing any more than that, but there you go. Steve.
Justin, people would like to know where they can get the hat that is on Dave's head.
Dave? Nervous Dave?
Employees only.
Okay, so that means you probably should order more, and maybe we'll start selling them.
Also,
Yes.
somebody commented that HR has entered the live feed.
I'm gonna get a phone call.
Oh,
You know that hold on, compliance will probably call me and go, "Hey, that last video you did, I'm gonna need you to edit a bunch of stuff out of it." Probably gonna have to say no, we're not gonna touch it. Sorry. It's already sent. We don't know how to edit anymore. Mitch,
Can you order just front sets of springs or have to buy fronts and rears? I'm mic'd up.
oh, you are.
Yep.
Sorry.
Was wanting to do 2.5 RC2 and 3-inch IBP in back of Razor.
You can answer that, Mitch. Answer is F no.
2.5 RC2s and 3-inch IBPs. I would just stick with 2.5 all the way around RC2s and buy the spring kit for the whole car. You're going to be much happier.
Okay, but if they're stubborn and they want to do what they want to do, which is totally fine, which is like 90% of the racers racing right now, then I think that we would actually separate that. If you give us a call and talk about it, then we'll send you the springs you need.
If it's custom and something set up like that,
We'll support you, man. That's pretty much every race team out there. Don, oh, Steve.
No, old Canada, Jake Dietzick, wanted to say hello from Mud Nationals. Go check us out at the Mud Nats.
Tell everybody about it.
We're at the Mud Nats. We're where? Sabine ATV Park in Texas. Come check us out. Mud Nats right now.
You know what? In that booth might be the only Pro XP with 40-inch tires, 24-inch wheels with functional suspension that moves. Just saying, you might want to check it out. Jump on the back of it. It actually does function. Don.
Justin, people are curious to know how your race went.
Oh, not sure if I would want to talk about that too much, but I will tell you.
I don't want to, but I will.
Yeah.
I lied.
So, at the Mint, we started off well, got a flat. Third lap got a flat, put us back in traffic, and we got stuck behind some guys that we couldn't get around. We couldn't get around them because their bumper is too high and our bumper is too low, and we couldn't hit them. Did the best we could, finished 5th. So we would love to have podiumed, but it just wasn't in the cards. But we did finish, and we had a good time. There you go. Steve.
Yes,
anything else?
sir.
Any other sore spot you want to poke?
That was Dom. That wasn't me.
Mitch,
Somebody
what
wants
do
to
you
know. No, I do have one. Someone was asking about a Viking spring kit, which they should be live on the website,
They
correct?
are live on the website. I was actually just about to say that.
They're,
one.
they're
Looking
live
at
on the
that
website.
Ryan Bartlett, 82. They are live on the website, ready to go. Go check it out.
All right.
What's
John
that website,
looks like
Mitch?
he's got something.
One here. How much for a set of 2017 Can-Am X3 XDS Turbo R Max to have them rebuilt?
That's a Steve question.
Rebuilds are
What was the question, John?
does not
It's very long. Can-Am names are very long.
it does not matter.
Unlike anything else. So any
XDS Turbo R Max rebuilt.
HR's here. 2.0 shocks are all 125. 2.5 and up are 175 a piece. And then truck shocks, I believe, are 200 each.
There you go. Pretty straightforward. And speaking of truck shocks,
Oh.
we do rebuild Raptor shocks and any other factory Fox shock that comes on an OEM vehicle. So keep that in mind when you guys want to get something rebuilt on your daily driver. We will do that too. Steve, do you want to make up a question? Doesn't
How
look like
much
you have
do I
one to
weigh, Justin?
Steve, good, excellent question. I
Curl up on there.
It's Double Chin Awareness Month, everybody. Damien knows what I'm talking about.
Who's the kid on Sandlot that everybody said you
Chunk.
look like? Chunk.
Chunk.
Not Smalls. Definitely not Smalls. Steve,
Yeah.
come on over here. Since we're in shipping, let's figure out how much you would cost to ship.
Oh, God.
Hey, Mitch, where do you want to ship Steve?
I don't know. Let's go to Tennessee.
Dave, we're going to 10 IC.
Tennessee, ground shipping. Can you plug in anything in Tennessee right now?
Make it Nashville.
All right.
Nashville
Nashville,
specific.
Tennessee.
I'm a 48, 12, 12.
All right. Steve's going to take a guess on his weight.
Oh, I know how much my fat ass weighs.
All right, you guys want to take a guess on how much it costs to ship Steve? Let's do that. We're not going to guess on Steve's weight because it's.
One box or two?
I'm a dub boxer right here, but we'll do single box.
Should we insure him?
Yeah, for
Absolutely,
$0.
absolutely.
We do not want him back.
$9? No?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I think it's going to cost. I'm guessing Steve's around 180 to 200 pounds.
My right
He's
leg.
looking a little skinny.
My right leg.
All right, okay, I'll go with the 200. 200 pounds to Nashville, ground shipping. I'm going to say is about, and this is normal shipping rates, right, Dave?
Normal ground.
Normal ground.
Yeah.
I'm going to say about $300 in one box. I'm probably on the low side, but I'm going to say $300. Mitch, you want to throw out a number?
I'm gonna say 245.
You're going lower.
245 bucks.
Wow.
I thought you said I weighed 245 pounds. I said, damn.
No, we're talking dollars to ship.
Oh,
Steve.
yeah.
Okay, Dom, you want to throw out a number?
260.
Dollars?
Yeah.
I'm taking the high end of this. All right. Yeah. Damien's with 320. Are you doing 350?
Top level.
Okay, hop on. How much you weigh? And Steve is
216.
216. Wait a second. Somebody's leaning on that. You're gaining weight right this second.
the hell?
You're now 259.
I'm 269 pounds.
Dave, throw in there 216. What do we got for a cost?
420?
Our price?
No.
Retail.
No.
Retail?
Yes.
Yeah, $1,900.
No!
Honestly, that weight should be traded.
Damn.
Put it on a pallet.
1900. You'd be at least $3,500, Damien.
All right.
Damn.
While we go ahead and strap Steve down to a pallet and put him on a semi to get him to Tennessee, you guys, if you want to buy anything, if you want to look at more products, if you have more questions, let's ask Steve while he's getting on a pallet exactly how he does that.
Oh, hey. If you guys are looking to buy anything from us, please visit www.shocktherapyusa.com. Don't step on those. Or call us at the shop, 623-217-4959. Have a good day.
I think 1900 is overvalued.